Well, I guess as it's related to the disability, I mean, or not related. I mean, I think, I mean, I don't think somebody's disability should define whether they're beautiful per se or not. Those names aren't usually associated with each other. So,
I think, I like the beauty part. I think that stands out more than the disability part. I like the beauty part because, it makes you realize that, disability and beauty can be put into one word.
I love that it focuses on the abled instead of the dis.
Able beauty. I mean, I don't see the dis. I just see like the able beauty. Like we're capable of doing whatever we can do, and our disability is beautiful. Honestly, it's not ugly. It's not something to be ashamed of.
I see the beauty within the disability. Is kind of what I see from that. And the disabled is very small because I think we're more able than disabled.
I guess what I see is the ability to be beautiful. The dis in brackets at the beginning is kind of a sidebar. It's like an afterthought. To me, it doesn't really count. It's the abled and beauty. I think that are highlighted for me.
Well, what I think about it is that you are not focusing on the disability. You're focusing on the ability and the beauty of people who just happen to have a disability, which I think is very important in today's context, because when you're thinking about beauty, it doesn't always have to be that perfect idea of physical beauty, but there are things that make people beautiful. And people who have disabilities are also beautiful or can be beautiful. And people who have disabilities also have abilities too. We can do all kinds of things. We're given the tool and the opportunity to do so.
With the disc being off the side, I think I see the abled beauty. I mean, I think of people that have a prosthetic that are still able to do everyday things, and there's beauty in that. That the human spirit is what drives them to keep going and not worrying about that disability.
Well, I write it similar. Like I lowercase the dis and I capitalize the ability, because I want you to focus on the ability of the person versus the dis. And I think I would say the title is seeing the strength and the beauty within yourself and helping others to see that beauty.
Well, I love that the dis part of disabled is small in the lowercase and in parentheses, because it really is. People, when they hear the word disability, I think they're thinking more of the things that a person cannot do instead of all of the things that they still can do. So I think that's wonderful. And I like that the abled is all capitalized because beauty and ability go hand in hand. The tools that we use, like our wheelchairs and other sorts of adaptive equipment that people with all different sorts of disabilities use.
There's so many different technology and assistive devices that are out there that help us with our daily living situations.
My friends forget that I lost an arm because I go bowling with them, I go golfing with them, play ping pong, I shoot pool. Everything that we do together, I'm of equal or better ability than them.
I think, not a lot of people realize it because I just walk so good, but I have prosthetics that go up to, my ankle or my kneecap. The other one goes up like halfway up my leg. And, I don't have feet and they're able to support me, do stuff that I wouldn't, be able to do without them.
If I'm picking something up or, whatever I'm doing, everybody asks, hey, can I give you a hand with that, So it's become kind of a joke at work. I'm like, I tell them, hey, I got more hands than anybody here. I got a bag full of them. I carry around a backpack that I got all different kinds of stuff in, If you want one, I can just take one off and give it to you.
I don't know. I would think that mainstream society would look at me and think I'm further disabled than I am. I am a quadriplegic, I have limited use of my body, but I don't think they understand how able I am to do. I do everything I was doing before my accident, only I'm actually doing more. I know more people, I'm busier with work, I'm traveling more, I'm doing more than I was doing before, and I'm more active in sports.
Yeah, I never broke 100 until after I lost my arm. I said to somebody, I said, I'm carrying bags and I'm traveling. I got my golf bag and I got my computer bag and I got my suitcase. And I says, I have a heck of a time now trying to get all this to the airport. And I said, I think I'll get a, disability tag. And the guy says, hey, when you stop shooting in the 90s, we'll let you get one.
People might think if you are deaf or hard of hearing, you cannot hear. But the thing is, with technology, we're able to hear. Or they might think you won't be able to speak. But no, I have hearing loss and I can speak.
When I was little, I did soapbox derbies and baseball.
Tennis, archery.
In high school, I was a cheerleader. I also did choir from 3rd grade to 12th.
And I've been scuba diving and go-kart racing and horseback riding, zip lining.
I did trombone.
Really?
Yeah, I played an instrument 4 years. Well, actually, 8 years of my life.
I am a USA deaf record holder for female discs.
I used to play the piano. I took piano lessons. I took violin. I learned a second language, which was German.
There are people with disabilities that are doing things like mountain climbing these days. If you ask people in mainstream society 20 years ago, and some people even today, they might not think that's possible, and they would not consider that, in the realm of what people with disabilities can do, but it's happening.
So sled hockey and being able to scoot around the ice with 2 poles. I also just recently went skiing.
I was in football.
Oh.
I did football 8th grade, sophomore, freshman, and junior year.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I was a kicker, and I played corner, and I tried a little running back.
Then I have been kayaking and horseback riding. So I'll try pretty much anything.
It's weird, I look back on it and think, oh my God, I just got my BA, I'm going for an MA, and now there's note takers that help me, and I'm an artist, I've got work in galleries, and I make work in film, and that's pretty good,
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm not unhappy with my life, I have a pretty good life.
Like my wife's friends, she'll tell them, yeah, Jerry can do almost anything. About the only thing he can't do is vacuum. Which is really not true.
I'm able to use the telephone. I can listen to music. And I think with my hearing aid and cochlear implants are giving me a lot to enjoy in the world that surrounds me. And I find beauty in that. I find beauty in being able to talk to my mom on the phone, or being able to turn on the radio in my car and know what song I'm listening to.
People are creating new programs, new sports, new adaptive equipment, and new ways of doing things every single day. And so you can be a part of that. You don't have to accept any limitations that are put out there by society or anybody else.
There's so much technology out there today. Like, I remember a few years back, I saw this van, and it was like a wheelchair accessible van, and he could drive. Like, he got in the wheelchair, up the ramp, got in the van, and was driving. So there's so much things are out there that accommodates to your disability. So to let your disability hold you back, it's yourself. You're letting yourself hold yourself back.
And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something or something else. There's always that tendency of, even in the workplace or whatever, you're going to apply for a job or you're trying to do something and they say, well, you can't do that. And usually it's very little accommodations they have to make to allow you to do that. And you don't necessarily fight them on it, and you just kind of educate them. I mean, as simple as when somebody parks across the crosshatch in the van, I use a van that has a ramp on it that has to get out. Rather than yell at them, I'll just educate them why I need that extra space beside the vehicle. It's not that I don't necessarily need to be close to the building, I just need those spots.
My cochlear implant are my babies. Like, they're in my life. Like, they definitely help me strive and achieve my goals.
I kind of perceive my chair just like anyone would kind of perceive their car. Like, it helps you get from point A to point B.
Without it, I wouldn't be able to be as independent as I am. I'm able to drive and go places on my own.
That's part of who we are. So it's part of beauty. It's a fashion statement. We all try to, flaunt our stuff as much as we can, and customize it to be a part of who we are. So I like that.
And I thought people don't really understand about hearing loss because as hard of hearing people, we have stigma. We're ashamed, we hide our hearing aids. And I thought, I'm just going to make something because I can make stuff. I'm a jeweler. So I thought I'll just make something for my hearing aid that lets people know that it's not clinical. We're just people, and it's like glasses.
Myself personally, I don't feel like I'm in the wheelchair and you get some stigma associated with the wheelchair. People don't know, am I normal? Can I talk to that person? Because they don't realize that it's a spinal cord injury. It didn't affect my ability to think or the way I act or my personality. So I'm still the same person I was before. I just, I'm seated in a wheelchair. But I think it does affect, as far as what, I guess, other people's perception of somebody is different of somebody in a wheelchair. And I think it's more, they don't understand it. So they don't understand how to interact with somebody or they get, I guess, put off by the wheelchair. They don't, so.
There's still a lot of stigma surrounding disability in general that kind of focusing on maybe the disability, not what people with disabilities can do. And I think we can focus a little bit more on that.
Stigma doesn't benefit anybody. It's bad for being stereotyped. It's bad for our self-confidence. The whole reason that I made earwear is in order that hearing people don't see us as being stigmatized, but see that we're human, we have a sense of humor, hearing aids are just like glasses, they can be fashion statements too, is to take the stigma away.
So for me, it's hard because, you can only do so much with, having hands. And at first I was, shy and embarrassed of being different. I was, tuck my hands in my pockets. And I don't think I'm a bad looking guy, but when you see someone without legs, you're like, oh, he's different, And
I think a lot of people that have prosthetics, they don't try to hide them anymore. They're more into like showing them off. They've come a long ways. They're a lot better looking than they used to be. A lot of them decorate them, try to make them personalize to themselves. So.
Oh, it's just snakeskin duct tape.
Mm-hmm. So why snakeskin?
I don't know, it's a little edgy. I like it.
And I believe in fashion, made me feel good about who I was. I like dressing up, just telling people, it's okay to be who you are. I think fashion was the best, route I could take to, express my inner self.
I think it breaks down social barriers. So if you had a cute pair of jeans on, somebody could ask you about your jeans, and avoid the whole question about disabilities. So be able to open conversation and speak to someone just like it would be you speaking to one of your peers and asking them where they got their pair of jeans. I think it just helps the whole perspective of someone with a disability.
You know, there's internal beauty, there's external beauty. You know, some may see beauty as just external, where others may see it as both internal and external. You know, how you make people feel, how kind you are to people, the impact you have on people. Do you care about people? That's beauty to me.
I think that it varies. I think that some people in mainstream society see it simply as something on the exterior. Whatever you see on the outside is beauty. But I know there are a lot of people that also consider beauty as being something that comes from the inside, and a person's you know, personality and the way they present themselves and their you know, the way they carry themselves.
I mean, you got beautiful grandchildren, you got, you know, beautiful houses, beautiful scenery, everything seems to be, that you look at, there's always some beauty in it.
I feel like they have this set in stone view of beauty, and then when people challenge that view of beauty, they end up seeing beauty in a different way than they saw before.
Do I think I think some people think I do. Others may not. They may look at me and go, ooh, that's not so beautiful. But at the same time, from a family perspective, sure, a lot of people see what I've been through and think there's a beautiful person inside that has overcome a lot of obstacles and challenges.
Don't assume that we're not capable of doing things, because we are. There's a lot of people here in life who are doing incredible things. They're musicians, they're teachers, they're students, they're living in the world doing all kinds of things.
I mean, now my office is about a mile from home, and generally I don't even drive my car. I just wheel with my little dog, and we go to the office and push around, and I push probably 4 miles a day pushing. So
it just helped me connect with the world. So I was able, you know, to participate in classroom and communicate to my peers, my professors.
Being in a wheelchair is just part of who I am.
I have a challenge that's seeable, but I feel like everybody has a challenge, whether you can see it or not. Some people are really good at math, some people are not really good at math.
People, you know, will hopefully realize, you know, just regular people just, you know, look different. Everyone looks different. They might look a little bit more different, but it's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong.
Well, I know for my part, what I thought is to let people know that we aren't wallowing. We're just living our lives, doing the things we do, doing what we're able to do, and carrying on and accomplishing what we can accomplish and feeling good about it.
I've had a lot of different challenges, but so far I've been able to, you know, figure out a way to do just about everything that I've wanted to do.
I'm not broken. I don't need to be fixed. I don't want people praying for me that I'll walk again one day, and that there are, you know, some disabilities that we obviously want to find a cure for, but what's even more important is that people learn to accept people for who they are, disabilities included. That's, I think, it's one of those popular topics out there in the disability community is, you know, trying to get rid of that cure language all the time, because it causes people to always think this is something that needs to be fixed, instead of just realizing this is part of who I am. And I'm okay, just like you are. This is my body, and this is my life, and I'm proud of it.
I don't see my disability as a weakness, so it's
as
just
like more of as a trait.
Yeah, it's a trait.
Right.
It's a part of me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just like my eyes are brown, I have CP.
You know, it's not much of a disability. I mean, it's Yeah, there's some things that I can't do, but, I can do the majority of them, so we get along good.
People with disability are a really diverse group. We're actually the largest minority group in the world. It's not no ethnicity, it is disability. The people with disability comprise the largest minority group. And I think we need to recognize that. And that there are so many different kinds of disabilities out there. But at the same time, that all of those people have the potential to do what they want to do or to enjoy the same thing that people in mainstream society do. We might just need a little bit of help and technology or maybe from other people in order to be able to do that.
It's a two-way street. It can't just be how we feel and what we do. It has to be, has to come from the other side also. So.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you need a little help from other people that have different abilities, have access to different things to get it done. But usually people are very willing to help out. You just got to ask.
We can do things. We can do it. I mean, just because we have a disability is not going to hold us back on living.
I don't want anybody to pity me because I have a great life. And I wouldn't want anybody to pity me for it because I do more now than I did before my accident. So I'm into more things and, trying new things and seeing whether I like them or not.